إن الحمد لله نحمده ونشكره ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدى هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أما بعد. My brothers and sisters, indeed, I enjoin upon you and upon myself the fear of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala gave us opportunity of commencing this year's Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, we were able to cross the first 10 days and also able to cross the second 10 days, and we are now, commencing the last phase of the fasting of the month of Ramadan. That is the last 10 days of that month, of the month. It is a very special period in the life of a mu'min. It is a period in which Sayyidatina Aisha radiallahu anha وصفت حال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. She described the manner or the behavior of the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم within that period. She said, كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا, she said, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, she said, when the last 10 days come, إذا دخل العشر, Al-Ashr al-Awakhir, if the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan comes, Shadda mi'zara, he will fasten his belt. That is, he will, fasten his belt. That is, he will tie his wrapper strongly. Maybe like someone who go for Hajj, you tie one down and then you put one up. The one down, we call it, mi'zara. They say, Shadda mi'zarahu. He fastened his belt, just in our own language. أيقظ أهله, and he also wakes his family. وأحيا ليلة, and he, makes his night lively. That is, he keeps his night, or himself busy in the night with ibadah. So it is a period that any Muslim who is opportune to meet it, then he shouldn't, take it for granted. It's an opportunity for you to build, your Jannah. It is an opportunity for you to draw yourself more closer to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Because at every point in time, yes, you're supposed to draw yourself closer to Allah. But yes, there are some periods that have some kind of special, things attached to them. Like the case of last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. Within those last 10 days, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam enjoined upon us to what? To search for one special night. That is Laylatul Qadr. That night is so special that if Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala gave you opportunity to be able to engage in ibadah within that period, the Messenger Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala described that night, say, Laylatul Qadri khayrun min alfi shahr. He said, the reward of good deed done within that period, khayrun is better than what? Alfi shahr, 1,000 months. That is, the reward you will have is more than reward of someone who had served Allah for more than 83 years. And how many of us are sure of getting to those number of years? That's an opportunity you will have. So it is a very, very special period. So it does not mean that, okay, maybe when that time comes you will not sleep or you won't rest. That is not the case. But rather, yes, you get yourself engaged in various kind of adhkar. You have nawafil, you have the recitation of the Quran, and then, some other words of glorification of Allah wa ta'ala. And within also one of the, prayers or the azkar, we've been encouraged by Rasulullah Aisha radiallahu anha asked Rasulullah that if one is opportune to meet that night, what should one do? And then he taught her that she should be saying what? Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. So it is a period we need to, walk towards, benefiting from. And it is once in a year. If you get it, you get it. If you lose it, you lose it. You can't get it in that same year. So you can't have it twice in any year. So it's either you are getting it or you are losing it. And, it falls within the odd nights. This is the odd numbers, not even. This is, 21st, 23rd, 25th, 27th, and 29th. So it is definitely going to fall within one of those odd, numbers or odd nights. So yes, there are a lot of comments on that as to which night is more expected to be that. But basically, as a mu'min, for you not to lose it, what the Prophet taught you is to search for it within those 10 days. So he did not ask you to wait until one particular night before you say you are going to what? Do Laylatul Qadr, because you may not be very sure. But main thing is one particular night, and that night is within odd period. Yes, there are periods we may expect it most likely to be, but still to be on the safer side, you need to what? Struggle within the whole 10 days, last 10 days of this blessed month. And in addition to some of the things expected of us in this month, then we should also know that yes, we've gotten an opportunity and that time is also ending. And as a mu'min, you try to take advantage of every opportunity you've gotten. And one of the ultimate things that we always need to keep reminding ourselves of in relation to Ramadan, it is a period you learn how to make yourself a better Muslim, how to make yourself a better servant of Allah wa ta'ala. That is the essence of the Ramadan in general. As said by Allah wa ta'ala in a verse of the Quran that in Surah Al-Baqarah, where he says, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, O you who believe, kutiba alaykum as-siyam, the fasting is being made obligatory upon you, kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum, the way it is being made obligatory before, upon the generations before you. Then you say what? La'allakum tattaqun, so that you may attain what? Attain piety. Like I said, if the Ramadan comes and pass, some of the challenges we are having in the country did not go, then you as a Muslim don't blame the government alone, you blame yourself also. Like I do say to us, is don't always look for someone to blame for what? For your problem. Also continue to check yourself where you are getting wrong. You expect that person to change his way, to mend his ways, you also need to mend your ways. And why did I say that? If Ramadan comes and goes without us having changes in our communities, then we don't blame the government alone, we also need to blame ourselves as this. There are changes that when you submit yourself to Allah, those changes will come automatic, even if you have the worst government. Like I do say, a good Muslim, if he truly fears Allah, even if government asks him to take life, he will fight to avoid taking that life. Even if government legalizes for him. What more of government prohibits it? Government bans it. And now your own maker, that is Allah wa ta'ala, was the first person who prohibited that before your government prohibited it. So if you couldn't leave that for Allah's sake, then the chances of you leaving it for worldly sake is very, very narrow. Like the illustration I do give us. If you have a family, the father as the head of the family. So if you have a child within the family who is respectful, the one he will respect most within the family, that is the one he will respect, the male he will respect most within the family is the father, not the elder brother. Because the elder brother is answerable to the father, but the father is not answerable to the elder brother. The father is the head. So if the elder brother gives a command, and the father give a contrary command, then he leaves the brother's own and do what? Which one? And do the father's own. It's just like if Allah commands you with something, which is not possible, but let me just give it as an illustration. If the Prophet commands you with something, and Allah commands you with something contrary, you will drop that of the Prophet and pick that of Allah. That is in the deen. In Islam, the first authority is Allah, not the Prophet. The Prophet is answerable to Allah. Allah is not answerable to the Prophet. Allah takes his decision. He does not care whether the Prophet wants it or he doesn't want it. But the Prophet never takes a decision until he calculates whether he is going to go against the will of Allah or not. He will only do something only when he is sure within his own level of knowledge he is not going against Allah. But Allah will take his decision whether the Prophet likes it or what or not. Allah will allow something to happen whether the Prophet likes it or not. You can see from the case of from the scenario of Aisha radiallahu anha. It's when she was accused of what? Infidelity. Yes, Allah decided to respond at his own time. Not at the time the Prophet wanted him to respond. And he allowed the incident to happen. Yes, when it happened, the way we as believers or as a people look at it is different. And Allah looked at it differently. And his own becomes what? The position. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says in the verse of the Quran, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ جَاءُوا بِالْإِفْكِ مِنْكُمْ عُصْبَةٌ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ جَاءُوا بِالْإِفْكِ عُصْبَةٌ مِنْكُمْ. They say, لَا تَحْسَبُوهُ شَرًّا لَكُمْ بَلْ هُوَ إيش خَيْرًا لَكُمْ. If something happened, you will think it's evil. That Allah is telling you it is not evil. It is what? It is good for you. He says sometimes you dislike something. It is the best for you. And sometimes you like something, it is not the best for you. Allah knows, but you what? You know not. So as Muslims, our changes should be more for Allah's sake, more than for worldly reason. You are supposed to be someone that at any point in time, your reason for doing anything is Allah, ultimately, because you believe your life is in His hand. And that's why whatever He prohibits you from doing, you will struggle as much as you can to what? To avoid it. And whatever He commands you, you will struggle as much as possible to what? To do it. And whatever He asks you to do, if the entire world will come together and want to stop you, if you have means of doing it, you will do it. And what He prohibits you from doing, if the entire world will want to force you to do it, if you have means of refusing, you will refuse. And that is why I say that you as a mu'min, the person who's supposed to make you change more should be Allah. And that is why if we now submit ourselves to Allah, maintain the lesson of Ramadan, so many things will have changed. You will not find a Muslim being involved in kidnapping. He is not going to leave kidnapping because he's afraid of the penalty from the government. He is going to avoid kidnapping because he is afraid of the punishment from his maker. That is Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. A robbery will not take place and a Muslim will be involved because he knows whether he escapes it in this world, he's not going to escape in the hereafter. He will not live a disrespectful life. He will not disrespect elders because he knows that the Muslim taught him that man lam yuqir kabirana wa lam yarham saghirana falaysa minna. The one who does not respect our elders and the elder who does not show mercy to the younger one is not part of us. So you don't need the government to become a good person. Yes, the government can help you be a good person, but you as a Muslim, you have the wisest of all. You have the ultimate, person who controls your life, who is have designed for you the kind of life you're supposed to live to have a comfortable life. So as a Muslim, yes, somebody should not come and buy something from you in the market and he's afraid that whether you sold fake one for him or not fake one. Well, what will make him to trust you supposed to be what? Your Islam. Because he knows you are somebody, when selling something to him, you will remember that yes, Allah is documenting what you are doing. Or maybe whether you are a chairman or councillor or whatever, you will be someone who think of how to make life comfortable for those you are ruling. That yes, you cannot sleep when you know those you are ruling are suffering. That yes, you will remember that a day is coming. That yes, as a ruler, whether as a councillor, whether as a chairman, whether as a minister, whether as a commissioner, as anything, even in your business organization, as the MD or as whatever you are in, because all of us are leaders. This is one thing we must understand. Muslim told us in a hadith that kullukum ra'in wa kullukum mas'ulun an ra'iyyati. He said all of you are shepherds and all of you will be questioned pertaining to how you take care of your word, how you take care of what has been entrusted to you. That's part of the lessons of Ramadan. That is what taqwa means. Taqwa means doing what Allah commands you to do and abstaining from what Allah commands you to abstain from. That is the meaning of taqwa. Imtithalul awamir wa jinabun nawahi. That yes, Ramadan taught you to what? To be generous, to be compassionate. That yes, after Ramadan you maintain the same character. If we think like that the level of hunger will reduce. The level of poverty will reduce. Oh, Islam taught you not to be lazy as a Muslim. And he taught you that what? The upper hand is better than what? The lower hand. Yes, you will be hardworking. You will struggle to make wealth. To what? To assist those around you. Because you as a Muslim, one thing you are taught as a Muslim is that you are supposed to work to the best of your ability. And you consume what you need, and the one you don't need, what do? Extend it to others. يَسْأَلُونَكَ مَاذَا يُنْفِقُونَ قُلِ الْعَفْوَ. Allah said the excess. It's like I said, in terms of work, Islam commands you, Allah teaches you to work as best as you can. But yes, in terms of usage, what do? You use according to your need. Yes, you can look for money more than your need. You can struggle, make money more than your need. It's Islamic. Islam encourages you to do that. But it also tells you to what? To use out of the money you have according to what? Your need. Then the excess, what do? Help those who are in need. Because the way Allah designed the world, yes, some of us have the ability to work, and there are some of us who may not have the ability. Some people are there, they have some challenges that they cannot work even if they want to work. Some people are lying at the hospital. Some people have their job and they have accident and they cannot work. So if all of us will say we are going to look for just what we need, then those ones who don't have who cannot work for what they need, they will what? They will suffer. So Islam encourages you to what? Struggle for wealth. And that's why they place zakah upon you. It's out of your excess. And after that, it taught you to what? To spend on others. So like we said, as Muslims, if we are to follow the training of Islam, even if you have the worst constitution, even if you have the worst government, you can still have the best society. Because you will be the best because of who? Because of Allah. Allah says, "Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas." That's how Allah describes you, the Muslim ummah. Allah says, "Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas." You are the best of the people ever brought out for who? For mankind. then is it not a shame? Kidnapping takes place, or banditry takes place, or robbery takes place, or money ritual, ritual killing for money or for power or for whatever takes place, and then your own name is involved as a Muslim. Unfortunately, you still have traces of those things happening in Ramadan, and that person is still fasting Ramadan. So where is the lesson of Ramadan? So we must understand something, that yes, as Muslims, a day is coming that we will all go back to Allah. And that going back to Allah is not only applicable to Muslims alone, it's applicable to everybody. Whether you believe, you don't believe, whether you are Muslim, you are not a Muslim, yes, a day will come, you will go back to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So let us take the lessons of this Ramadan and change the state of our country and change the state of our various communities. Let us make our communities safe. Let us make our communities, comfortable for anyone living around us, because we submitted to Allah. We submit ourselves to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, because we become better people after the month of Ramadan. As scholars usually remind us, if you want to know whether your Ramadan is accepted, check your life before Ramadan, and your life within Ramadan, and your life after Ramadan. If your life before Ramadan remains same after Ramadan, that means something is wrong with your Ramadan, because it is a training you've gone through. As we describe it for ourselves at the beginning of the fasting, they say Madrasa to Taqwa wa Darul Huda. It is a school of what? School of God of piety, school of God consciousness, and home of guidance. So you pass through a school where you learn consciousness of Allah, and you pass through a home where you have what? Guidance. And then at the end of when after getting out of the school or getting out of the home, there's nothing to show for it. Then you too, you know that you did not gain anything. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala accept our fasting and put us among those who will make our society safer for all. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله العظيم الجليل لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد عباد الله أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل. My brothers and sisters, indeed, let us all submit ourselves to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. We need to realize something. There is nothing in this world. This world is just a place you come to pass through to build your permanent house. It is not a living place for any living being. As we usually remind ourselves, one of the poems by one scholar, where he's saying that what? إِنَّ لِلَّهِ عِبَادٌ فُطَنَا طَلَّقُوا الدُّنْيَا وَخَافُوا الْفِتَنَا نَظَرُوا فِيهَا فَلَمَّا عَلِمُوا أَنَّهَا لَيْسَتْ لِحَيٍّ وَطَنًا جَعَلُوهَا لُجَّةً وَاتَّخَذُوا صَالِحَ الْأَعْمَالَ فِيهَا سُفُنًا. He said, إِنَّ لِلَّهِ عِبَادٌ فُطَنَا. He said, certainly Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala have some smart and clever servants. طَلَّقُوا الدُّنْيَا. They divorced the world. وَخَافُوا الْفِتَنَا. And they fear, trial. نظروا فيها. They examined the world. فَلَمَّا عَلِمُوا أَنَّهَا لَيْسَتْ لِحَيٍّ وَطَنًا. When they discovered that the world is not a living place for any living being, جَعَلُوهَا لُجَّةً. They converted it, or they turned it to what? To a sea or river. وَاتَّخَذُوا صَالِحَ الْأَعْمَالَ فِيهَا سُفُنًا. And they took their righteous deed as their what? Their canoe with which to cross. And another scholar is saying also in another popular poem, he's saying what? لا دار للمرء بعد الموت يسكنها إلا الذي كان قبل الموت بانيها فإن بناها بخير طاب مسكنه وإن بناها بشر خاب بانيها. He said إن لله. He said لا دار للمرء. There is no abode, there is no house for someone to live بعد الموت, after death. يسكنها, that is going to live inside. إلا الذي كان قبل الموت بانيها, except the one he built before his death. He said فإن بناها بخير. If he built it with good, طاب مسكنه, his abode, his home will be what? Will be good. وإن بناها بشر. If he built it with evil, خاب بانيها. Such a builder is in loss. So the world is just a place you come to what? Prepare your main place, your permanent home. It's not a place to stay. كل نفس ذائقة الموت. So each soul must test them. And like I usually tell us from time to time, don't waste your time praying not to die. Don't waste your time. Yes. Don't waste your time praying what? Not to die. Pray for Allah to accept your soul at the best time. But praying not to die is a waste of time, because it is a prayer that will never be answered. So some days back, nobody made a mention of you in this world. Then after some days, Allah brought you into the world. So also a day will come that you also be out of it. That is the system. That's Allah's destiny. So you can't change it. You can't change it. That's the design. So just get yourself ready for that. That's why Allah said, "Watazawwadu." Make preparation. So just prepare. Don't refuse to prepare. Because they say what? You plan to what? You fail to plan. You plan to what? To fail. So whether you plan to go, you don't plan to go, you will go. It's either you go successfully or you go unsuccessfully. But going, you must go. It's your choice. You want to be successful, then plan to go. And those who plan to go will make the world a peaceful place. So I usually tell us this. It's those who plan to leave this world. Because what Allah will use in judging you is how peaceful your action, how peace the society, enjoyed from your presence in their midst. How useful are you to them? What is your contribution to the development, to the peace of the society? Because that is through what you serve Allah. You serve Allah with your lifestyle. If you eat, it's ibadah. They taught you how to eat. You say Bismillah. You want to start. Alhamdulillah when you finish. And you eat what is halal, right? And you do that, you have reward. Having conjugal relationship with your legitimate wife, you have what? Jannah. And you have with illegitimate one, you have what? Hell. Yes, if you go to the road, you blow your horn. Yes, I usually give us this small example. Blow your horn anyhow. They are writing something. Yes, it's your car. It's your horn. Blow it, but it is entering people's ear. That ear it is entering is not your own. That's what makes you a Muslim. That's why we say a Muslim, if he's really a Muslim, anywhere he finds himself, he takes cognizance of his action. Take cognizance of his action. That is, you watch what he does, because he knows that everything is documented. So you will not pick your car, enter the road, and horn, and you think you are just horning. To you, it's just horn, but to Allah, it is not just a horn, because that horn is passing a message. That horn is affecting other people. And as a Muslim, one thing your deen taught you is what? That is, a Muslim is someone that other Muslims are free of the affliction, that is the evil of his tongue and hand. That's what makes you a Muslim. So if people will be free of the evil of your tongue and your hand, why wouldn't the world be peaceful? Even a kafir, Allah made you to understand that a kafir has right over you. Like I said, if you see a non-Muslim on the road, wallahi, your attitude towards a non-Muslim can land you in Jannah and can land you in hell. He is a servant of Allah. He belongs to Allah. A mu'min and a kafir, they are all Allah's property. The distinction between you and him is that in the area of ibadah, where Allah gave you choice, yes, you decide to do and he decide not to do. But there are aspects of your life, whether he likes it or not, you and him, Allah is controlling you. It is you and him, it is Allah deciding the day any of you will leave this world. He doesn't have a choice. He has to submit there. What he will have is Allah who decides. He will be an African, he will be an Asian, he will be an Arab, whatever, is Allah who decides. So that there are areas that he doesn't have a choice. He has to submit to Allah there. Where you and him differ, like we said, is the area where you have choice, where Allah gave you a bit of control. Like I used to say, Allah judges us in the areas we have control. He doesn't judge us in the area he controls. Allah won't put anyone in Jannah because he's black. And he won't put anybody in Jannah because he's what? He's white. But he will put you in Jannah based on how you interpret your white and your black. That's your action. Is if you feel Allah have made a wrong decision, in making you who you are, then something is wrong with your what? Your iman. Judgment comes there, because that's your own action. May Allah Ta'ala guide us. Allah Ta'ala used the Ramadan as a means of changing all of us, bringing better situation to our country, making those who are involved in evil things avoid those evil things, so that all of us will live in peace, and then inshallah Allah Ta'ala will join us all in Jannah. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم أصلح أئمتنا وولاة أمورنا اللهم أصلح أئمتنا وولاة أمورنا واجعلهم في من خافك واتقاك يا رب العالمين. اللهم أصلح أئمتنا وولاة أمورنا واجعلهم في من خافك واتقاك يا رب العالمين. ربنا إننا آمنا فاكتبنا مع الشاهدين. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله العظيم الجليل يذكركم واشكروه على آلائه